Hello and welcome to Nick V Uncensored. Today we've got Chris Burris and we've got Patty Greer, and today we're going to be talking about the hidden secret of olive oil and fraud. Now, just before we begin, I want to put a disclaimer out there that we're back on YouTube, and just to make sure that we align with YouTube's guidelines, we want to keep our channel up there and use the Matrix tools to get through and to as many people as possible so we can help and share the truth to as many people as possible. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. We're not health advisors. Everything is speculation and exploring opinions and exploring the space. And we urge you to do your research, and we're not making any claims. Chris and Patty, thank you so much for joining me. How are you, and what have you been up to? How was your Thanksgiving? We'll go with Patty first.
Thank you. I had 4 days in a row celebrating with my family, and it just got better and better. So I think this is a time to be really grateful, and boy, did I feel it.
Absolutely. It sounds great. 4 days on a trot, right? Chris, I hear you've gone to the Bahamas.
Yeah, I took the family to the Bahamas, really kind of to isolate, have some family time, kind of immediate family time. And I'll actually be connecting with my mom this weekend as kind of an adjunct for having Thanksgiving with her. So it was great. One of the things that you're supposed to do in the Bahamas is swim with the pigs, which sounds amazing. Bad weather kept us on Nassau, and so we didn't get to swim with the pigs. So I don't know. I'm a little disappointed. We need to go back and swim with the pigs.
So the weather was really bad there in the Bahamas.
Well, bad for Bahamas because it was still nice. It was a little cloudy and it was windy. And so the pigs are on another island. So you have to take a ship over to the other island. And it was just too choppy to do that. So that's why we missed out.
Okay, interesting. Now, I want to talk about the hidden secret of olive oil, okay? Now, as you know, I'm Greek. I'm from the Mediterranean Sea, and we love smothering our olive oil on salad, chips, fish, just you name it, okay? We just love olive oil, okay? And I'm proud to say that I use the C60 Evo olive oil because I know how great of an antioxidant it is, and it's helped me so much with my sleeping, with brain fog, with stress levels, with the mitochondria. It's amazing. I love it. But I want to really stress to the viewers, what are the hidden secrets of olive oil? My grandmother, who is in her late 70s, since I was a baby, she's always banging on about olive oil, olive oil. Back in her day, there was no processed food. There was no potato chips and stuff like that. It was all homemade. Everything was homemade. And she's always banging on about olive oil because deep down or subconsciously, she knows how healthy it is, but she probably doesn't know all the controversial side to it, like the way you guys do. But Chris, why don't you explain to us what are the hidden secrets? And Patty, if you want to spontaneously jump in as well, please do.
Well, the secrets are so well hidden. You can actually go back to the Egyptians, and in murals and in paintings of ancient Egypt, there are olive trees everywhere. And in fact, Egyptians used to use olive oil in so many different ways, but one of them was actually to brush their teeth, right? That you can imagine they didn't have toothpaste. Maybe they were smarter and didn't have fluoride in any toothpaste. And so they were actually brushing their teeth with olive oil. So this is a tried and tested way to have so many improvements. And I actually put together a little presentation to talk about, what's the value of olive oil and where does it really tick a whole lot of boxes. So if it makes sense, I can share that now.
Yeah, please do go for it. And while you're doing that, Patty, do you want to share anything that Chris just said?
Well, I think one of the biggest secrets is there's good olive oil, and then there's Costco questionable olive oil. And you want to be very mindful of what you're taking if you're doing it daily. Our C60 Evo olive oil comes from Tunisia, from a particular farm on a regular basis. So we are selling exceptional organic, cold-pressed, extra virgin olive oil all the time in our bottles, big and small, but you're getting the good stuff plus the ESS60, which we will move into. But the olive oil itself is really exceptional, and that's what people really need to be looking for, is what we call the good stuff.
Absolutely. Now, Chris, you did mention that olive oil back in the day, people would use it to brush their teeth. Now, is this something that we could do today, adding it to our routine? Do you think this would help with gum disease?
Well, I think that there's some information in the slide. I think the information is absolutely clear. That it is beneficial, right? Olive oil is a known antibiotic and a known antiviral, right? And so that's what you want to control. At the same point, it's a healthy oil that supports your oral microbiome and your gut microbiome. So there's so many valuable things going on here. And just like Patty mentioned, in addition, we've got this ESS60 molecule in it. In fact, there's a video, there's a guy, Dr. Stephen Gundry, he's pretty popular. He kind of has a lot of video content out there. He has his own olive oil. Also, Brian Johnson, kind of the crazy biohacker guy, he's got his own olive oil. That's how valuable these guys think olive oil is. And in fact, Gundry has a video where he talks about using olive oil to whiten his teeth. So my practice, anytime we do a shot, I don't know if we're going to do a shot today, but anytime I do a shot, I'm actually swishing that around in my mouth. Some people have heard of oil pulling. I don't actually spit that out. I just swish it around in my mouth to help support my oral microbiome, and then I swallow it. So I'm trying to get some advantage right there in my mouth.
Got it. I see. Okay, cool. Let's proceed with the slides.
Yeah. So one of the things that people often don't realize is a huge benefit of a high quality extra virgin olive oils is the presence of polyphenols. Now, these are powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that are naturally found in a lot of plants and are found to a high degree in a high quality extra virgin olive oil. And so one of the things that you might ask is, well, if that's the thing that's of value in olive oil, how do I know that the olive oil I'm consuming actually has polyphenols, that it has a rich polyphenol content? And one of the ways to do that is if it has a sharp, peppery, or throat tingling sensation, that is largely due to a specific polyphenol called oleocanthal. And so that's one of the many polyphenols that is in a high quality extra virgin olive oil. So when we do shots, we often talk about the fact that it will leave a peppery flavor at the back of your throat. That is a way that you know that it has high polyphenol content. Now, when we start thinking about the different benefits of an olive oil, we see your teeth, gut health, immune system support. Teeth, no surprise, right? I already mentioned antibacterial, antiviral. The Egyptians used to use it as toothpaste. Dr. Gundry recommends it for teeth whitening. Like it says right here, it removes harmful bacteria like S. mutanes and supports cleaner teeth, fresher breath, and healthier gums. It's kind of counterintuitive, right? Because you don't wake up and think of what kind of food would I use to brush my teeth? But you can actually do that with olive oil, right? It is a food and you can actually brush your teeth with it. In terms of extra healthy gut, extra virgin olive oil contains antimicrobial compounds that reduce the bad bacteria in our gut and support the healthier microbial balance. And then immune system support. We're going into this, cold and flu season, right? And a lot of people, well, one, I'll just point this out. A lot of people lean on vitamin C as supporting them through the cold and flu season. And, I've got to get some more orange juice. I've got to take whatever vitamin C I have around. There is an ad hoc study that shows our product is 172 times more powerful than vitamin C. There's actually peer-reviewed published research that shows it to be 125 times more powerful than vitamin C. So this really makes sense that it's an immune support. It supports your immune system. There's two polyphenols, oleuropein and hydroxytyrosol. They support the body's natural antiviral defenses and enhance cell activity. So pretty amazing results. We got kind of one more slide. Heart health. A lot of people, when they think about heart health, they don't think about something that's an oil, but it turns out that olive oil is good for your heart. It's the monounsaturated fats inside of the olive oil and the antioxidants lower your LDL cholesterol. That's the bad cholesterol, support healthy arteries, and promote better cardiovascular function. It's also well known that if you replace saturated fats, which are not heart healthy, with olive oil, you'll get some weight loss benefits. There's lots of research on that particular aspect. Speaking of which, here's weight loss. Olive oil helps improve satiety, stabilizes blood sugar. It supports the metabolic health, making it easier to manage appetite and ultimately lose weight naturally. And then finally, brain health. What's the point of being kind of healthy in every other regard, having a healthy heart, if we don't have our mental capacities? High polyphenol olive oil protects neurons from oxidative stress, supports mitochondrial energy. We'll actually talk about that here soon, and promotes sharper cognitive function. I mean, it's a win-win. It's not just white teeth. It's a win-win.
That's very good. And do you have a next slide?
Yeah, well, this one is actually on our sleep study, and we can talk about that in a second if you've got any questions about olive oil.
Okay, great stuff. Just go back for a minute.
Yeah.
So talk to me about when you say it helps with the weight loss. Is that because it's got good fats in it? Is that because olive oil is considered as a good fat?
Well, one, it's a good fat. Two, it is a food for your good, healthy gut bacteria, right? So our gut microbiome is always in this kind of ebb and flow of good bacteria and bad bacteria. You always have bad bacteria. You always have good bacteria. You're just trying to make sure that the good bacteria outnumber the bad bacteria, right? Like this is the natural status of your gut microbiome. And olive oil is an oil and a food source for your good bacteria. Right. So your bad bacteria tend to thrive on things like sugars and alcohols, et cetera. That's why if you stop having any sugary sweets for about 3 days, you'll crave them less because the gut bacteria in your stomach that thrives on sugar starts to diminish. Right. And the opposite is true. If you start consuming more olive oil, then you actually crave more olive oil and also crave less sugars because you have your good gut bacteria are outnumbering your bad gut bacteria.
So is that where cravings come from the gut?
Yes. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize there's actually your vagus nerve is between your stomach and your brain, and they've measured the signals going between, and 90% of signals come up from the gut into the brain. Right. So some people will argue that your first brain is actually your gut and not the brain in your head. And that is certainly true when it comes to like foods and cravings and tastes that you enjoy.
It's interesting you say that. Now I wonder, because I have chocolates after, first time after a few weeks or a few months, and then all of a sudden I want to eat them every day.
Yep.
I mean, it's a disgrace.
That is 100% your gut bacteria down in your stomach going, give us more chocolate because it was good. And now there's a lot more of us. And we want there to be even more of us. So it's down there going, yeah, send us some chocolate. So there is, there's a lot to, enjoy sweets. I actually like a really dark chocolate. I don't get the same sensation that you described. A milk chocolate will have a lot more sugar in it and will drive those cravings more. Dark chocolate is actually known to be healthy, and so won't drive those cravings as much. Mm. And let's be realistic. Some might argue it doesn't taste as good because I don't think it doesn't. Like milk chocolate tastes better, but you can get that kind of chocolatey sensation and chocolatey experience without kind of the negative add-on effects.
Oh God, when I tease myself like that, I'll just get a can of condensed milk and eat it with a spoon.
I'm sorry, but I would say life is short. Enjoy your chocolate.
Yeah. Of course. All right, let's go to the next page.
Yeah. So this is, and I'm sure we've talked about this before. We did a sleep study. It was born out of a conversation with a consultant for Oura Ring. So I've got an Oura Ring. It's one of the better sleep trackers that's on the market. And we were going down this path because our most consistent testimonial is that people take the product in the morning, they report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep at night. And so we wanted to have some data that actually supports that better sleep is not just an anecdotal response that we get from some of our customers, that it is in fact something that's going on. So we started this study, and this is there's a pretty small cohort of people who went through here. But what you're looking at is the blue column is 10 days of survey data before they tried the product, right? And then the red column is 10 days of data after they were on the product for the first time. Then yellow was 10 days of data after they were off the product, and then green, 10 days back on the product again. And what you'll see here, we're asking things like, hey, rate your sleep. How easy was it to fall asleep? How restless were you? And then how did you feel? Like, how would you rate your sleep in the morning? And you can see 100% of the participants in this particular study reported the improvements in sleep when they were on the product. And so this is us doing a couple of weird things, actually. Most supplement companies don't do research. And even fewer publish. And we haven't published this particular study. We're trying to get some more people into it. But we did actually publish last year in May and this year in June. So we're that weird supplement company that not only continues to do research, but also continues to publish that research.
Okay. So I'm just trying to analyze this myself. This graph is focused on sleep and how it really increases the quality of your sleep.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
With again 100%, right? So this is an aggregate of all the people who participated, but I can share with you 100% of the participants reported improvements in sleep when they were on the product.
Interesting, right? And this is just 10 days, right?
Yeah, 10 days. We collect 10 days of baseline data before they try the product. 10 days on it, and then another 10 days. It's called a crossover study. So 10 days on it, 10 days off of it, and then 10 days back on it.
Okay, really good. Okay, let's move on.
And then the last one, we've talked a little bit about the boss theory, but I wanted to throw together a slide so we can really understand what's happening. So we haven't kind of mentioned it today. What we're talking about is this ESS60 molecule. It looks like a soccer ball. It was discovered in 1985. The scientists who discovered it won the Nobel Prize in 1996. They thought it would be toxic. They put it in a toxicity study. Instead of being toxic, the test subjects that they gave it to, in this case Wistar rats, lived 90% longer than the control group. So that's what we're talking about. When we think about this boss theory, we know a couple of things, like what is the supporting information about this theory? One, we know from peer-reviewed published research that this ESS60 molecule gets into the mitochondria. And we also know from way back in the 90s that it can hold up to 6 negatively charged particles. So as we look at this slide, the first stopping point is the healthy mitochondria. Remember, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of every cell. There's between 50 and 5,000 mitochondria in every cell in your body, except for your blood cells, which actually have 0, and your brain and neurons, which have 2 million mitochondria per cell. It's amazing how much energy our nervous system uses. Like every energy source, right? Mitochondria is the powerhouse of every cell. Like every energy source, there is a negative byproduct. You think about your car going down the road, it has exhaust. You think about a power plant, it's got smoke coming out of the smoke stack. In this case, in the case of mitochondria, it's reactive oxygen species. That's these little blue circles up here. The reactive oxygen, the way I picture reactive oxygen species, if they're left to their own devices, they're like little bumper cars. Everything they smack into, they're rusting, causing oxidative stress, causing oxidative damage. And internal to the mitochondria, you have glutathione and melatonin to manage those reactive oxygen species. I like to pause here because melatonin is the sleep hormone, and our most consistent testimonial involves sleep. So there's some really nice parallels with this theory and the actual testimonials that we're getting. So in this case, the reactive oxygen species in a healthy mitochondria are being managed by glutathione and melatonin. Everybody's happy. You see little kind of smiley faces on everybody. What happens when you stress a mitochondria? Now, first off, how do you stress a mitochondria? And I like to point out, if you live in modern society, you have stressed mitochondria, right? It's whether it's the lights coming off of our devices, or it's smoking or drinking, or tough conversations with loved ones or business partners or business associates, or flying in an airplane, right? You make trips fairly frequently. You're getting more exposure to EMF radiation in those airplane flights. That's stressful. That stresses your mitochondria. And when that happens, your mitochondria produce more energy and they produce more reactive oxygen species than can be managed internally. So you see in this gray mitochondria that some of the reactive oxygen species are being managed by glutathione and melatonin, and then the red ones are left again like little bumper cars, rusting everything they smack into. In fact, there's a hole in the mitochondria; it can get out of the mitochondria and actually do damage to the cell. And that's where the ESS60 molecule comes in. You can see here it's holding up to 6 of those negatively charged reactive oxygen species, so there's no damage occurring. And then when that mitochondria can replenish, right, because the current melatonin and glutathione are being utilized by the reactive oxygen species, as soon as your mitochondria replenishes, creates more glutathione and melatonin, then it can manage the reactive oxygen species attached to the ESS60 molecule and then prevent the damage. So that's why we say the ESS60 molecule is the boss, a buffering oxidative stress system. And the whole summary of this, and Patty has an even simpler summary, but the whole summary is we're reducing the negative impact of stressed mitochondria. And if you reduce the negative impact of stressed mitochondria, you should have what we have, which is head-to-toe testimonials.
Okay, excellent. Well, very complex for me, but very interesting. Thank you so much, Chris, for sharing that with us today. Patty, do you want to say anything regarding what Chris said?
Yes, I want to speak to all the people that don't speak science, that were maybe a little lost like you. Your audience is a blend, but basically what Chris was explaining is that if you take a spoonful of this, you are going to be detoxing your system from head to toe. And I'm sure it's just a coincidence that our testimonials are consistently from head to toe. So we are getting letters from people that no longer have migraines, not making a claim, just saying we've had a lot of those letters. I personally had 2 hip replacements and I flew through them very painlessly. My recovery's been very quick. And I'm finding that this science, basically, it's detoxing our bodies and helping us to have more life in our systems. All of our cells from head to toe are being cleared out of stuck toxicity in our mitochondria, which Chris said is the powerhouse of every cell. Now, power means energy. So if we're lagging and we're exhausted, or our pets are lagging and lethargic, in a corner, this is such an easy solution. It's a spoon and some oil, and you take it before noon and you feel the difference quickly. Very few people don't notice the benefits, and we really haven't heard much about any after effects that aren't positive. When people say, oh, God, it's so strong, it's like, yeah, it's the good stuff.
Exactly.
So the olive oil, which we recommend above all, because it holds the most of this molecule, ESS60, we recommend it, and it's just effortless, literally spoon and put it in your mouth. And I take it every morning and I go all day long. I'm in my 70s and I don't feel that lag in the middle of the day like I used to. I go right to sleep at night, and I have a weird kind of mystical life. So I'm up in the middle of the night briefly. I make my go to sleep tea, and then I'm out beautifully, but I sleep deeper than I have in ages because of this product. So wonderful thing to give people, wonderful thing to gift yourself above all, because when you feel better, your world is a better place outside you. And, I think a lot of people are feeling like, oh, when I haven't done much, poor me, I hurt. I think I want to just say congratulations to everybody that's still here, December 2025. What we've lived through in the last 10 years has been remarkable, probably the biggest shift in human history. And a lot of people don't know that we've been at war. World War III, we've lost more people in the last 10 years, 5 years probably, than ever in any other world war. That's a fact. It's a sad fact that we are still in it. So a lot of people, I think, were really underestimating how incredible it is to be here today in our fullness, listening to shows like yours, because people are hungry for what's going on. I see the greatest future. I'm so excited. I also have a C60 Evo brain. Like I'm not lagging, I'm not feeling depressed, I'm not getting sick, and neither is my family or close friends. Like all of us take it, and it's not because I'm a co-owner of the company, it's because it actually works. And we are all very picky people that are taking Evo. But it's interesting that all of our influencers, if you weren't taking it, we wouldn't be doing shows with you. So it's coming from the heart that you guys really love the products and we really love working with you. And your audience, I mean, who isn't wanting to be the best version we can be? Here we are at the end of a year, moving into the next. This is the easiest solution, SOUL, solution, because I'm one of those hippies from Boulder, but I swear it works. And I really encourage people to give it a try.
Well, Patty, thank you. And I also want to say you're doing a festive, festive season discount for the viewers, which I think is phenomenal. And that's 40% off. And the link is below in the description. So click on the link and put it in your basket and let us know next time in the comments what you think, because we want to know. And if you can, I think leave, email Patty at C60 Evo or Chris and let them know as well what it is. And maybe next time they could bring it to the show and we could discuss that. What do you think,
Oh, yeah.
Patty?
Well, the 40% is for two different items that we are offering a 40% discount with a pack of 6 items. So we chose our two top items, our two top sellers, and we want to encourage people to buy 3 for themselves and 3 as gifts because Chris describes our 3-month period of really realizing the ultimate benefits of taking this product every day. In the first month, you'll feel some benefits, but by the end of the 3rd month, you'll probably be hooked for life. And we don't want to say hooked, we want to say benefiting for life. So 6 of these alone is 40% off, which we've never done ever. And our other bestseller is our C60 Evo starter set, which is this gorgeous advanced facial serum. I absolutely love it. My bottle's empty.
Is that why you look so
My
beautiful?
Here's my new one. So this is an incredible oil, and it's all natural, vegan, fabulous. But when you give this to as somebody as a gift, this is to take on the inside. This is to put on your face or your hands, and you will get compliments and thank yous for months to come because this is our winners right here. The facial serum and the energy serum here that you take on a spoon. Great sleep, amazing flexibility. People that are athletes, this is a great secret tool. Let's talk about secrets. C60 Evo. We used to say in the beginning, the secret is out. This product works. So people that are doing races, take a spoonful. You're not cheating, although it'll feel like it because you'll have all this additional energy and endurance. So, take advantage of our holiday specials. Also, we offer 20% off 24/7, 7 days a week. If you sign up for a monthly subscription, we are up to 70% of our sales are resubscribes. And it's because when you take this, most people want to continue. And you can unsubscribe at any time, phone call, email. We don't ask questions. Most people don't because it's a really small investment for such a great benefit to your well-being, and it's physical and mental that people benefit. And when Chris talked about the 2 million mitochondria in the brain per cell, that's huge. And so when you take this oil, it's like, wow, mental, like, how can I all of a sudden feel it this quickly? It's because your brain is firing again on all circuits rather than being lethargic. C60 Evo rocks. I love it. And I love being partners with a lab that's the only lab in the world making pure carbon 60 fullerenes, ESS60, which is elemental safe spheres with 60 carbon atoms. It's a beautiful miracle molecule that won the Nobel Prize in 1996. We weren't bringing it for people and pets until the last 6 to 10 years. It's been available once we realized it was not only not toxic, but ESS60 holds the longest longevity results in history on lab animals. That's a big statement. And they died without tumors, which is more important to me.
Very,
So we
very
wish
important.
everybody radiant health, and we encourage them to buy the 6-pack and save a ton of money.
Well, Patty, thank you so much for sharing that with us today. The link is below in the description. And lastly, Chris, is there anything that you'd like to say as well before we finish?
Well, yeah, I would make one tweak. Patty did share that there's a 20% off on subscription. We're already offering such a big discount for the holidays. So on that landing page, there's a little bit of a discount for the subscription. And we're so happy to be working with you. I want to wish everybody, happy holidays. And I love Patty's, radiant health. We hope you have radiant health.
Absolutely. You both look great. And guys, thank you very much. I'm very proud to work with you guys. And I love the olive oil, the C60 Evo, and I'm going to carry on taking it. And I think the viewers should too. But guys, thank you. And we'll speak again very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.